Okay. That's one advantage, hopefully.
Good evening all, and welcome to another edition of FTB Sports. And I'm sure you can tell by that big smile I can see on Stoney's face that we're winners. 3 points, boys. I can tell. Look at Kev. He's rubbing his hands together as well. He wants to talk about 3 points and a clean sheet.
And a clean sheet.
I'm telling you, great bloody stuff. Excellent bloody stuff. I'm telling you, great stuff. So, gents, how we doing? Gents? How we doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, man. It feels, your Sunday feels much better as well, doesn't it? Feels much better.
Definitely.
Sunday dinner's going to taste a lot better today. I'll tell you that much. Okay, so let's start off with, as usual, as we always do, get the lineups totally wrong. But we did talk about there'd be a few surprises in there.
Yeah,
there certainly was. Kev, so talk to me about Klopp's surprises then.
Klopp surprises. Well, I mean, I certainly didn't see Reece Williams as being a right. Yeah, no, I don't think. Well, neither of us. I think
he was in none of our squads. None of us.
Not at all. I didn't think he was even in the running, to be quite honest with you. You know, I didn't. So I was weighing up whether Fabinho was going to go in the back like normal with Phillips, obviously because Kabak's slight injury, slight knock. I know it's nothing serious, and I have heard that he will be back for the United game, which is good. Okay. But I certainly that completely threw me when I saw the team. I thought, what are you doing? We need this win. It's a must win, and you're putting in somebody we haven't played for ages. Yeah. What are you doing? Okay, it worked out. Just. But yeah, that really flummoxed me on that one. Flummoxed me.
I think once again, and Klopp was saying that his inclusion was based on how he's been performing in training. And I think it probably goes back to something that we've spoken about on previous shows as well. We don't work with Liverpool. We don't see what the coaches see. We don't see what the managers see as well. So the fact that Reece was introduced to actually start as well in, let's be honest, a game that was we had to win, and that the manager's confidence has actually been there in it, and he's come through. As he said, he's kept a clean sheet. He's performed well for one of our young players as well. You know, that's going to do brilliant for us as well. And as you said, I suppose the other side of it, he definitely wasn't in my starting lineup. But the other start,
he wasn't in mine. Definitely not. I didn't even have him coming on off the bench.
No. Not even.
But can I ask a question, gents? Do you think that his inclusion was down to the fact of Klopp thinking he knows how important Fabinho is in the middle of the park? What do you think about that?
I think he's understanding that more so now. I mean, if you look at the stats when Fabinho's been in defence, and Fabinho's been great in defence when he's had to play there. We've lost more points than we've won when he's been in centre back. He's just that wall in front of those centre backs.
Counts for a lot.
To clean up stuff before it actually gets there, and he does it so well. That it takes pressure off those two central defenders, whichever central defenders. Even if it was Gomez and Virgil there, it does stop a lot of the balls getting through to them.
Yep.
So I think he's beginning to understand that now.
Yeah, and you're right. It's probably for the best as well in terms of performance, getting the players that function at their best in their correct positions. And as you said, just having the confidence in the other players that are part of our squad. But yeah, wonderful reintroduction for Reece as well.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't feature against United or any of the other games for the rest of this season, it's a positive step and landmark of progression for him as well. So yeah, that I thought that was actually nice.
Yeah. How do you think he played, Stoney, overall?
Pardon me?
How do you think he played?
I think he played all right. There was one opportunity where he got turned inside. I think he was defending on the inside. Was it Obafemi that came on?
Yeah.
Turned him on the inside and cut in. And I think we were quite fortunate that Alisson was able to come off his line really quickly to stump out that opportunity as well. But look, it's probably similar to same when Kabak came into us as well. These are young players. What I love about our club is that we do give our players time, especially our young players as well. So as I said, he had a fine performance, and it's a wonderful learning opportunity for him. So yeah, really happy for him and a good performance there.
Definitely. Do you, Kev? Do you think that Klopp would have still played him if Ings was fit and starting?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we know Ings is a good player. He knows where the back of the net is. He's quick. He reads the game well. Reece Williams is a young player who's learning his trade. I've seen him play some great games. I dare say you have. But what this does do for him, it builds his confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
The next game. Yes, he's had games where he's not played that well, maybe not read situations correctly, but he's still learning. And like you said, the club are prepared to give the younger players a chance and give them time, like they've done with Kabak. Kabak is, he came in, wasn't too good. It looked like his feet were in treacle at half the time. He wasn't reading the game very well. But they gave him time, they gave him matches, and now you can start to see what he's capable of doing as a defender. And I certainly hope come the end of the season we sign Kabak. Even if we do sign Konate, I believe we need to sign Kabak as well.
Yeah,
and also to keep players like Reece Williams as backup.
Hold on, you're right. So you're talking about Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip.
I'm hearing it. I agree with what Kopati is just.
Yeah?
Just
hold on. Kabak, Nat Phillips, Reece Williams.
Yes.
And Konate.
No, but no Matip. No Matip. I think Matip needs to go.
Thank you. I agree with Kopati on that. And if you think about this as well, okay, excellent point as well. If you think about it with Matip, he was never really a player that was going to give us more than 20 games a season anyway. All right. So if we probably look, one, he will reduce the age because we're slowly trying to bring down the age. He hasn't been as fit as he has been over the years. So I agree. If Matip moves on, and we keep the players that we've got there, obviously if we do go through for the sale with Kabak, that's fine. And obviously purchase Konate as well. Bearing in mind in this as well, remember, okay, Konate and Gomez can still also play at the right back position as well. Mm-hmm. So these are additional players that can play in varied positions for us. Another reason why I think it will be a positive move as well if we do make those two purchases. If we look at how our squad was depleted in the defensive area this season, all right, think of how many defensive players Man City and Chelsea have. So in my own head, if we're going to try and go back to how our club was actually showing how we've been progressing over the last few years, this year was a little hiccup, all right? I do believe that we're going to need a much stronger and larger squad. And also to make a challenge with Chelsea, are probably going to spend another 300 mil this summer as well anyway. And so are Man City.
On one player.
So, but yeah, I do definitely agree with Kopati on that. Definitely if we can get Kabak, and definitely bring in Konate. And also, we still don't even know what's happening with Ben Davies.
No, he's going, man. He's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to go. I don't even believe you brought him up. He's got to go. Yeah.
So
that's a shrewd move to get him in and then send him on to make some money.
There you go. So even if it's a business, so in that sense, bring those extra defenders in, strengthen the squad. So if we do have any teething problems going into next season, then we're not in the position we were actually in this year. So yeah, I agree with that one.
All right. Good evening, Edward Brown. He says, "Hey guys, how are ya? Yous hope you are well. Great result last night. Yep, true. Right, it was a great result. But what do you think of? What do you think, Stoney? What do you think of the actual performance?"
Well, do you know what? Going back to something that yourself and Cop Artist was just talking about there just now. Do we think that Klopp would have played Reece Williams if Danny Ings had started or was available to start for tomorrow? I think it was quite interesting because I think with my top two, I had mentioned Che Evans and I think it was Nathan Redmond. I think I said Nathan Redmond up front. So they played
we all said Nathan Redmond up front, I think.
Yeah.
So they played the 4-4-2 come stroke 4-2-2-2, what they usually play, right? So Redmond played on the left and they played
Teller.
They played Teller on the right and they played Theo Walker up front.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and he said we can always speak about these things in hindsight. I wonder if the fact that Walcott actually played up front probably helped us and probably made it an easier game for Reece Williams as well. But I think it was a performance where at periods we were in control. I think my danger men I had mentioned would have been who did I mention? It was somebody on the right midfield I mentioned as well, didn't I? No, I said if Gineppo plays.
Gineppo, yeah.
I said Gineppo. We didn't want Ward-Prowse to have any set pieces.
Yep.
We
Definitely.
didn't. So, but yeah, it was controlled in the right area. And yeah, I think I was just maybe I was probably happy that we got the result. And if there was any areas that we could have improved on, I'm gonna be honest, it's just completely gone out of my mind. I was just focused on the result. I was just focused on the win. And I remember very little else about the game. And I'm going to be honest. That's very little. Other than Thiago having a nice game as well. Actually, I liked how Thiago played.
Yeah.
We seemed to play the ball through him a lot, and his distribution of game was really good. You know, there's been quite a few people that have mentioned and commented about Thiago's performance and some of the things he has done and hasn't done. My opinion is let's judge him on next season when we have our full squad back. Yeah, well, where he can actually play.
Facebook user says, "Great win, guys. Good to see Thiago and Mané score. Both under fire this season. Ironic, but United may be burnt out by Thursday with our fixture list."
United ain't going to be burnt out.
No, they're not.
Nah, they won't be burnt out. They're going to be ready for this.
Yeah, of course they will. They'll be up for it. He says, Facebook user again says, "I thought Reece's confidence was blown after being out of this element this season, but great move by Klopp."
And in fairness, that's a really good comment about the Facebook user as well. I think one thing, and I could be incorrect on this, but I think one thing Klopp has shown is he doesn't blow players out. I think as much even with Karius, as much as he wasn't the goalie that we thought he was going to be, he still had a little opportunity to play afterwards. So I would say out of all of the players that have been there, Klopp usually gives them a chance. And even with the Karius thing, that's £4 million. In football terms, not in real terms, in football terms, we paid £4 million for him. So sometimes you get what you pay for in football. But he usually gives players a chance.
He didn't give Saka a chance.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. But let's go back to that situation with Saka. I think it was probably Saka was probably questioning Klopp in front of everybody. But you're right. That's an excellent one there, Cop Artist. You're all right. Yeah, all right.
I wouldn't have given him a chance either, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, right. That's a good one, actually. I forgot about Saka.
Right. So, Kev.
Yes.
Someone says, Facebook user says, Reece better not be starting versus United. Career suicide.
Yeah, I think it would be a wrong move by Klopp to play him, and that's not because I dislike Reece. I think he's a great talent in the making. But what you need somebody stronger, a bit quicker, somebody that reads the game a bit better. When you've got the likes of Cavani, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes playing.
Definitely.
That's if they play, and the reason I'm guessing they will. I just have this sneaky feeling come Tuesday against Leicester, they're going to put a lot of their mediocre players in. They're going to change their squad around because they got the 3 points today, which is what they needed.
Yeah.
And apart from Leicester and us, they've got another game or two after that, which they don't really need to worry too much about point-wise.
Right.
I agree.
They will be more up for our game than the Leicester game. So I'm half expecting a very weakened team against Leicester and a full-strength team against us. Which is why I don't think they'll be burnt out. But I think, if Kabak, I think Kabak could have played yesterday because I don't think his knock was that bad. It was just a bit bumps and bruises. So I think it was more the case of, well, let's not push the issue with Kabak just in case.
Yeah, of course. There's no need to take the risk.
No, because we need him against United. We need our better players against United. So I think that comment by, was it a Facebook user? It would be, well, it wouldn't be a career suicide, but it would be a bad choice.
I agree. I think the game against United is probably going to get played at a much higher tempo. Probably players that are going to be a bit more cuter, a bit more decisive. And I also agree as well. Definitely. I think what Man United are probably going to do on the game on Tuesday against Leicester, I reckon they're going to play the squad that they usually play in Europe. So we're probably going to see, the European players, Tella, Diallo, all of those players come back in and feature for them. And then, as you said, we just get those A-grade players come back to play us on Thursday. So definitely agree with you guys on that.
Facebook user says United had 5 youth academy players out tonight. Can you envisage Liverpool bringing through any more quality youths in the future?
Yeah, 100%. Previously, we had Curtis Jones. Even though he came on the 90th minute, Curtis Jones was able to come back yesterday. Yeah, we had didn't we have Woodburn on the bench yesterday?
Yep, we did. Yep.
Players, obviously Nico Williams was on the bench yesterday, and we also had Billy Comitio as well.
Yeah,
one of our 18-year-old defenders as well, who's come through our academy as part of our development team as well. So just to answer the Facebook user, 100%. We can do it. We're definitely going to see some more of our academy players come through. And remember, if we're looking about, even he's not classed as the academy, but he's in that age group. Remember, Harvey Elliott's coming back. He banged off.
He did.
He's getting on very naughty down there. Very naughty. I'm excited to see him come up. I am definitely excited to see him come up. Definitely.
Still good. So,
All right. Edward Brown. He says I would have played Davies. Now, before we get into that, you're saying that now after we've won and kept a clean sheet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We've won and kept a clean sheet. So what difference would Davies have made?
Yeah.
And
as he said, you know what? Go again.
I was sorry, man. I was just going to say, we haven't seen Davies. We don't know what he's capable of doing. Yes, we've heard good reports from Preston and their fans and everything else. But we haven't physically seen him play unless you follow Preston or you watch the odd game that's shown on TV, which is very rare that they will show Preston. You can't take a chance on putting in a player, although he's been with us since the start of the year. He hasn't played any. He hasn't had any game time. So why would you put a player in that's had no game time? We have no idea what he's capable of doing. We don't know how he reads a game. We don't know how physical he is or how quick he is. When you can put in a player that has played some games for us, we know what he can do and what he can't do, i.e. Reece Williams. That to me would have been a bit of a suicide mission by putting him in. I think it's a shame that we haven't seen Davies, and we know he was an emergency transfer.
Of course.
But I think it's a shame for him that Klopp hasn't trusted him to play any games. But then again, you don't know how he's performing in training.
Training, exactly. That's my feeling is. If you must have seen something in training why you're not actually playing him with the injuries that we've got in that position.
Yeah.
And you brought him in as emergency cover. You're not playing him. There must be a reason why you're not playing him.
Yeah. It's true. 100%. And you know what as well, Arti, you're right. You mentioned something which is quite good. And I actually hadn't thought about it. The business side of that. Because what was it? Was it 1.8 from Preston?
Yeah,
1.8. Yeah, 1.8. All right. 1.8 from Preston, and he would have been on a free going to Celtic anyway. So you're right. It may be that business side that he's come. He's probably had that discussion with Klopp, and Klopp said, "Look, you'll train with us. We may not play you, but for all we know, he's actually probably got a contract with a deal to go somewhere already. And they're just looking afterwards to make sure that he's fine and that Liverpool's fine as well. So you're right. We're never ever gonna know.
No.
But,
what business?
And you know what? Even if you're right. It would have been nice to have seen him play, and maybe if we were in a different environment in terms of our squad availability and us not really having, and I'm going to use this word, desperate to have these 3 points, he may have had an opportunity to play. However, I'm sure he would have improved as a player by even training with the high level of players that we have at our club as well.
100%.
So but yeah, it will be interesting to hear at the end of the season what that deal was about and where he does eventually go in. But you're right, I trust Klopp and the coaching staff anyway. So,
but that goes back to that question about the academy players coming through. Yeah. Now that we've changed, our academy's changed. We're obviously no longer at Melwood, and all the players are actually now able to train with all the best players. All the academy players are able to train with the best players. I think that was the main idea behind, or one of the main ideas behind it, because everything was sort of separate for them. And that can only bode well for our academy players to building knowledge and taking things away from those, the likes of Van Dijk and Henderson and Salah and all those sorts of big players. So, Davies, yes, definitely, will pick up a lot of good things.
You're also learning from better coaches as well.
From better coaches, yes, exactly.
That's another thing, more experienced coaches. So definitely, 100%. Reese, our faithful Reese, we're all going to say a big happy birthday goes out to Reese.
I've already said happy birthday to my friend Reese. 13 today, he is.
He's a teenager now.
He's 13, yes.
Happy birthday, Reese, mate.
Happy birthday, Reese, mate.
Nice one. And right, going on to Reese's next point, we will get to my next question. He says, Thiago Alcantara. Gentlemen, it's open to any one of you to go first. Who was your Liverpool man of the match?
For me, it looks like Stoney's thinking, but
he's got issues there. He's like,
I haven't got as much, so I'm not doing that.
We've only got 45 minutes, mate.
Right.
All right.
For me, it has to be Alisson. I would have loved to have given it to Phillips because I thought he played an exceptional game yesterday once again. But I think without Alisson's saves and reading of the game at certain points and coming out when he did, for me it was a no-brainer. Alisson for me was man of the match.
Stoney.
Fabinho for me. It was just lovely actually seeing him playing back in the position that we actually purchased him to play in. I think he's shown that he can play centre back, and I mean even at Sevilla he was able to play right back. But we bought him as a central midfielder, and it was just lovely seeing him back in his position and just running the game for me. So I just loved it. Really loved it. Nice throwback performance there, and Fabinho was my man of the match. And yourself, Arti, who is yours?
I am torn between Alisson and Thiago.
Okay.
I thought Thiago really came into his own yesterday, and he played like the player that we know he can be, like to try and boss the game, dictate the game, which I thought he did. And one thing I do love about them kind of players is forward passes. That's one thing I do love. I can't take this crab football, man. This sideways football. It gets on my nerves. It's seriously. I like the forward passes. Alisson, as you say, made some big saves for us. Again, 100%. I have to say, I am torn between the two of them.
You got to pick one.
Why are you making me do this, man?
Stop sitting on the fence.
All right. You know what? I am actually going to go with Thiago then. I am going to go with Thiago. Great goal as well. Great finish. That just ran, for me, that rounded off the performance. And I think that came from him also having a good game, him feeling he had a good game. He had the confidence to do that and take that strike on. And I think that will do him the world of good for me.
Do you think, a question for you guys, do you think that because we've all chosen different man of the match, we see the game differently at times?
Well, we're all individuals, so we're all going to have different opinions.
Yeah.
It's everybody's. No one's saying you're wrong.
No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't mean it like that. It's just most of the time, a player stands out, don't they, on a game, and you go, yes, that player was man of the match. But there were a few that could have got man of the match yesterday.
As well, right?
What you're looking at.
We might look at things objectively, right? Like this. Yeah. Like you may have been a striker in your day, so you might look more at the strikers.
I was actually starting off as a goalie.
Only may have brought on the oranges at half time. So or a winger. Do you know what I mean? Or he might have been a winger. Yeah. So he may look at more like Salah or Mane. I was a more central midfielder, so I may look at like Fabinho or somebody. So that's how you may envisage the game and judge the game.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I did start as a goalie, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit more biased towards Alisson.
That's true. That's a good assessment.
But having said that, I didn't always play as a goalie. I did play as a right winger as well, and central midfield. So I'm sort of in that. I try to look at everything. Not like that, you guys don't, but you could be right. It could be born in your head. Well, I used to play in that position, so I'm more looking at those players and how they perform compared to.
It also goes back to a couple of weeks ago. I think it was it Newcastle or one of those, and the comment you was making about Addison coming out and that. They kind of things sticking. I was like,
I did say he was to blame.
Okay. Facebook user, he says, nice to see the screen set up in a rectangle to fit our long faces. Cheer up. Your own cool. I got a feeling that's a Monday. I got a feeling that's him. Feeling he's
Monday. Listen, we're still happy because we still got a lot of silver in the last few years that we got happy to be about. That was shining. I'll tell you what, Man United could still end up at the end of this season having as much silverware as Sheffield United. So be careful, my friend. Be careful, okay? And those are facts.
Don't count your chickens, as they say. Yeah. Remember that. Charles Williams, good evening, sir. How you doing? He says a happy birthday goes out to Reese, and you'll never walk alone.
Excellent, lovely,
very much, lovely. Thank you very much. Reese has said that he reckons that Alisson showed he can be he's a great keeper already, Reese.
Of course he is.
What's wrong with you?
Of course he is.
He's a quality keeper.
He's one of the best in the world.
I'm telling you. Yeah. See, I knew it was him. Look. On Monday, I told you. That sentence just stunk of him. I knew it was him. I bloody knew it.
Oh, Monday's amazing.
He says Davies was bought to sell on, not to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. And Edward Brown, he says, I would love him to get some game time. Just one game. I'm not a huge fan of him from what I've seen from him. So why would you want him to get a game then?
Exactly. Especially when we need all the points we can get.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense.
No.
Nah, no sense whatsoever. Want him to get game time, but you're not a great fan. Yeah. He was bought as backup to come back emergency. Seriously, I don't think he was bought to play at all, but to develop.
I mean, how old is Davies? Is he 27?
I think he's about 27? That. Yeah, 27.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And see, Edward Brown says his man of the match was Mané. So that's 4 different men of the match for me.
Yeah, that's
Reese agrees with us. Reese agrees with us. His man of the match was Thiago. And Charles says that his man of the match was Alisson.
Okay. Yeah, so it was quite varied then.
Yeah, quite varied. So, Stoney, what was your prediction for the score?
3-0.
Top artist, yours was?
4-0. 4-0.
4-0. All right. And I said 3-1.
All right,
Yeah.
we both kept a clean sheet, so we nearly did.
Yeah, we kept a clean sheet. That's the one. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. How important is that clean sheet, do you reckon, that's going into Thursday's game?
Do you know what? I think it's strange because these derby games can actually go completely out of the window. And to tell the truth, as long as we beat United, it could be 10-9, as far as I'm concerned.
As far as we get the 3 points.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. As long as we win, that clean sheet can go completely out of the window. We can have an absolute nightmare as long as we get those 3 points. So yeah, I'm not too sure how much that will affect the team going in to Thursday. I still believe we're going in with confidence. I still believe that we're going in with the same mentality that we're going to win. I still believe that we're going in the same mentality that we're going to play as we normally do, and we're going to be victorious. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
The clean sheet's vital. I mean, I'm just looking now at the stats, and we got a goal difference of plus 18.
Right.
And when you look at the teams that are in sort of that third, fourth spot, Leicester's got plus 20, and Chelsea got plus 23. So we are a bit down on that. So we need every clean sheet we can get, but we need to be banging those goals in and taking our chances. And again, yesterday, we missed chances that should have gone in.
Salah.
Which is
man.
Salah. Yeah, I mean, we had, looking at the stats, we had 14 shots. See, this is from yesterday's game, was my concern.
Yeah.
We only had 54% possession at home against a pretty poorish Southampton team. We had 14 shots on goal. They had 12. And we had 6 on target. They had 6. So it was pretty even. But against a team that sort of leaks goals but don't score that many, we didn't do that great as we should. That's why I predicted a 4-0.
Hey, that sounds like us right now. That actually sounds like us, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. But we should. I mean, how long has it been? We've been saying that we're not firing up front. We're not getting those. We're getting the chances, but we're not putting them away.
Not putting them away. Yep. So you're right.
And that again showed last night. There was a bit of play there which I was getting so angry and shouting at the TV, like we all do, because the ball just kept going, like you said, crab passing, and then going back to the goalie. It got up to the final third of the pitch, and it ended up back at Alisson 2 or 3 times in succession. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You ain't going to score going that way. You got to score going that way.
Yeah.
And I think that lets us down a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Charles says that his prediction was 3-0.
Okay.
And Edward says that his prediction was 4-1. So how do you think your danger men for Southampton performed?
Well, I picked out Ward-Prowse. We didn't give much of a look in, to be quite honest with you, which was good. And I know you, Artie, were saying, we don't want to be giving away a lot of free kicks because of Ward-Prowse's skill at that. So I'm glad in that respect. We didn't give away a lot in that area because we know how much of a danger he is with that dead ball. So I'm happy with that situation.
Yeah.
Stoney?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think mine was Ward-Prowse. I can't remember whether I said Chinepo, and I think I mentioned, I don't know, was it Cheddarins I may have mentioned, but
I think you mentioned Adams. Yeah,
I think you mentioned him as well. Yeah, we did speak about him. Yeah, definitely we did.
So I think other than that, we played how we played, and they had absolutely no effect, absolutely none. So yeah, just really happy with our performance.
Do you think you're saying that they had no effect? But I personally feel that they were what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't clinical up front. That was the issue. Not that they didn't have an effect. They weren't clinical, and Alisson played well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were probing. They were probing, but I don't know. It's strange because Southampton seem to be playing within themselves. they needed that result as much as we needed it. We needed that result to obviously still push through to try and get into the Champions League. I mean, what Southampton are sitting in the relegation zone at the moment. Down. Well, they're sitting at the other end. I think they're on like 37 points or something like that. So they're sitting down at the. Are they on 37 points, Kev?
They are 37 points. They're 10 points from the drop zone, so they're pretty safe.
Yeah.
But in terms of how Southampton have been playing in build up to this game, I thought there would have been a bit more from Southampton, but maybe then it may have just been based on how we have actually been playing, and maybe we played much better than I actually remember. And as I was saying, I was so happy that we got the goals that there's not much that I actually remember about the game.
Yeah.
So
do you think that their lackluster performance could have been like the missing of Ings and Minamino as well?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they've played for periods of time without Danny Ings when they played Che Evans up front, and they still functioned well. They still functioned well. They still got the results they needed. I don't think the change of goalie made any difference because they rotate between Forster and is it McCarthy that were going? They usually rotate between the two. So I don't think the fact that Forster played in goal yesterday made absolutely any difference. Even for them, I think the fact that they managed to have, and this is just my opinion because it shouldn't have been a red card anyway, the fact that they managed to have the red card rescinded from what Vestergaard got sent for. So the fact that he came back to play for them, I think would have given them even more confidence. Yeah. So and even I think it was in the second half as well. Even they had one of the set pieces from the corners, and they didn't even put anywhere near Vestergaard. I thought, well, you got a man who he is tall as the moon, and you're not even going to utilize him as on the corner. I thought, well, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So when I saw their lineup and I saw that he'd been like his red card had been rescinded, he was in. I was like, my one worry was about set pieces. That was my one worry with him. But then again, we've got Nat Phillips, who I think can do a good job on him. To be fair,
I think he won every header aerial duel yesterday. I think 7 he won yesterday out of 7.
Yeah,
and that's why he. Every time I see Nat Phillips, that guy is just a brick wall. It's a brick wall, isn't he? You ain't getting past him no matter what. I know he doesn't have the straight line speed.
Yeah.
But if you read the game well, like Virgil does, although I know Virgil does have the straight line speed, but if you read the game like Virgil does, you don't need straight line speed.
Yeah.
Because you're there in the right position at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. So Edward Brown says, who do we want to see replace Wijnaldum?
Can I answer that question, please?
Go for it.
First of all, in an ideal world, I would not want Genie to leave anyway. I just want to put that out there, right? In an ideal world, I would not want him to leave anyway. I do believe that he's going to move on to the new project over at Barcelona. And I know I've said it on previous shows. As an individual, he'll go with my blessing. I think he's been a wonderful player to actually bless playing for Liverpool as well. And also, he was our captain yesterday as well. So so if he does move on, I think he'll go with the blessing of the majority of our football fans and supporters. If there is to be a replacement, Rodrigo De Paul, and he plays for Udinese, and he's the Udinese captain, Mr. Edward Brown. So that's if we were to make a replacement, that would be my replacement there.
And what's the likelihood of that happening, though?
Well, Rodrigo's contract, I think, is up in 2023 or 2024. If we were to make a bid for him, it would not exceed £30 million. So in football terms, I think for our club, that's a reasonable fee.
That's a little splash in the ocean.
Yeah, and bearing in mind, remember, listen, Edwards will probably sell. He'll probably end up selling Ben Davies for £30 a man. So astute with raising money for the club. So in that sense, I think we'll be all right. But yeah, Rodrigo De Paul, if there was to be any, but it wouldn't cross my mind that we'd be looking at what's the midfielder at Brighton? Basuma would be a nice addition as well. Yeah, but Rodrigo would be for me, and then Basuma.
Look at what Reese has said. Nias, Pellegrini, and Bissouma.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
A
Well.
top artist. Who would you
Yeah.
want then to replace him?
Yeah, I mean, Basuma, I think, would be a good replacement. But I also think maybe they need to give Curtis Jones a chance in that position, because he's a bit more of a forward-thinking
Yeah.
midfielder for me, and I
But
think
so
that's
is
what we've been lacking.
Wijnaldum. It's just how we play him.
Sorry.
So is Wijnaldum. It's just how we play him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I get that. Obviously, when he plays for Netherlands, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He scored a lot of goals for the Netherlands.
And when he was at Newcastle.
Yeah, and I think Klopp has just tied him down into the wrong position.
Yes.
So I don't think we've got the best out of Genie. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I love Genie, and like Stoney, I wouldn't want to see him go.
Yeah.
But if he is going to go, and I think his head's already on the plane, then I would like to see a little bit more forward thinking from Klopp as regards to replacing with somebody like Curtis Jones. Now, if DePaul, I don't know much about DePaul, but if DePaul is that type of player that can do both jobs, do a holding position in midfield and venture forward, then why not?
Yeah.
But I'd like to see him use some of the players we've got, like Curtis Jones.
I don't want to see. I ideally don't want to see Wijnaldum go. But like Kev has said as well, if he does go, I do want to see Curtis get a chance. But I also feel we do still need to bring in a replacement, because remember we're talking about building up a squad.
Yeah,
we still need to bring in a replacement. So I would like to see Curtis get a chance, but I still would like to see someone come in. And as you mentioned about DePaul, Stoney, he has been popping up a lot in my WhatsApp groups, Liverpool WhatsApp groups. People are popping him up and saying, "Yeah, this is the guy that we need." To be fair, a lot of people are talking about him, I must say. So yeah, definitely, I would definitely be interested in that. Charles is saying that he don't think Gini will go to Barcelona. They can no longer afford him, which is why his agent is pimping him out to Bayern.
Okay. But then you've got the link between him
and Koeman.
Yeah, and Koeman. So I think that's where he wants to go. But a bit of an odd fact here for you guys. You were saying about building a squad, which we need to do, but obviously we need to cut some of the deadwood away. We are actually the second highest in active players that we actually pay wages to in the league. 30 players we have active.
Wow.
All right.
The highest, believe it or not, you wouldn't believe who the highest is. Have a guess.
Chelsea.
Couldn't be more further from the truth.
Think about this. And if he's saying that, we won't think about it. Crystal Palace.
Nope. Brighton.
Brighton.
Wow.
Brighton have 31 active players on their books, and they pay their wage bill for the year is £43 million. Okay.
Brighton.
Yeah. We have 30 active players that we pay wages to, and it comes to a total of £135 million just in wages.
Yeah. Wow.
So Charles Williams says Grealish to replace Gini.
Completely different players.
Yeah.
Completely different players, Charles. For me, Grealish is a good player. This is just an individual comment, by the way. Okay, Grealish is a good player, but I don't think he'd fit in the way that we're currently playing at Liverpool at the moment. But however, Klopp's a manager. I'm sure he can make anybody fit in. But Grealish to Liverpool, no, I can't see it.
All right, listen, time's getting on. Quickly, Kev. Grealish to Liverpool, what do you reckon?
I'd take him as a backup, but for me, he's a little bit too much like a Jota, playing in a sort of similar position. So for me, would be a definite no, straight in, but a yes as a backup.
All right, quickly on that, I will say he for me as well would be a backup, but playing as he has been a star player where he is, would he want to come as a backup? That's
No.
the question.
No.
Exactly. Mr. B says, don't go near Basuma. He wants him at United. The thing is, though, Basuma wants to go to a quality club.
Yes,
Thank you.
exactly, Mr.
And
B.
you know what they're forgetting about?
With a quality manager, not
Mr. B,
Frodo.
you already have a midfielder called Donny van der Beek that you're not playing. So why are you going to go and buy another midfielder? And you know what, Mr. B, just to wind you up, you've got Matt Fred at your team, Mr. B.
The fans who were protesting last week have had more time on the pitch than Van der Beek.
Exactly. Were they moaning about the amount of money that the owners are taking out, but then they're spending like £1 billion on transfers?
And
you want more?
Yeah, don't be greedy. I'm sure Phil Jones used to play midfield when he was at Blackburn. Get him fit and put him in your midfield. Playing with Fred, Mr. B. That's your midfield period.
Midfield period. Okay, gentlemen.
Yes.
It's been a blast. It's been a blast. So we have to look forward now. Look forward. Put that one behind us.
Yep.
We've done the business there. We need another 3 points come Thursday.
Yeah.
Need another 3 points come Thursday. Tell me, Stoney, are we confident?
Yes. I'm not even touching my beard. There's no thoughts. The answer is yes.
I like that. I like that. Kev, are we confident?
Oh, mega confident, mate. Mega confident.
We're up for this, yeah?
Yeah. Yes. The guys will be up for it.
I will briefly say I do believe that win would have brought a little bit of confidence within the squad. Mané as well should get a little bit of confidence from that. I definitely think we're up for it. 100%.
And we've had a bit of help today as well because West Ham have lost.
Okay. Okay.
Finished 1-0.
Yes.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, gentlemen. As always, it has been an absolute pleasure. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
People do remember FTB Sports. Do remember share, like, subscribe. We will be back doing our preview show, and then we will do our reaction show. So do log in and get us again. Share it out. Tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Stoney.
Thank you very much, sir.
Artist.
All the best, mate.
All the best, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
You too.
Cheers.